Ladies and gentlemen, so welcome to this video tutorial. So we're going to look at October-November 2024 Information Technology AS level. So we are going to dwell much on the spreadsheet task. So we are asked before the first task, we are going to look at some of the requirements here. All currency values must be displayed in dollars, 2 decimal places. All weight values must be displayed in 3 decimal places. So we are asked to open and examine N24 chain. So that's the file that we're going to be working with. So N24 chain. So N24 chain. So this is the file that we need to focus on. So this is the file, the unedited file, which needs to be edited by performing a few tasks. So some of the tasks that need to be done to this file, we are looking at the values in cell T3 to V3 are changed frequently. So T3 to V3, so the values that they are referring to here are these values for silver, gold, and platinum. Then moving on, merge cells A1 to R1, A17 to R17, A30 to R30. Format each of these cells so that they contain a black 16-point bold center-aligned sans serif font on a yellow background. So changing the spreadsheet. In other words, you're formatting the spreadsheet to look like this. Other merged cells are these ones. Then format each of the merged cells to contain a black 12-point bold center-aligned sans serif font on a yellow background. So those are the additional formatting that is required. On top of that, the file has to be saved as an Excel workbook, but they're saying you have to save it as a spreadsheet. Since you are given a CSV file, it has to be changed as an Excel workbook. So those changes I had already made the changes. So let me look at the edited file. So this must be the edited file. So if you look at this, these are the merged cells. This row number 1, row number 17, row number 30, as well as some of these rows as well. So on top of that, there's also the gray background that has been applied, and also a black background with a white font. So these are some of the changes that needed to be done, including converting these to currency to decimal places. One other issue was on grams. Actually, it was the weight. So the weight needed to be converted to 3 decimal places. So anything that is in weight, just like this, these values, according to the question paper, they had to be converted to 3 decimal places. So I'm converting these as number to 3 decimal places. Alright, so that will allow us to jump straight to the questions. So the first question we are looking at, which has to do with the calculations. So place in cell E18 a replicable formula to convert the weight in ounces into grams. Format the information in columns T, U, and V will help. So replicate this formula for all other cells. So alright, so we are converting this value to grams since it is in ounces. So the measurement. So the conversion rate, we are saying 1 ounce is equals to 28.3495 grams. So it's a matter of multiplying. So equals to E5 multiplied by the conversion rate, but every value here is going to be multiplied by this value, so we have to make this value constant. So we are making this value absolute, so this value has to be absolute. So making a value absolute, look here, there's a $ before U and a $ after U for U19. So I'm going to replicate the values across, and I'm also going to replicate the values down to row number 29. So moving on, the next question says, place in E31 a replicable formula to calculate the cost of the metal used to make each chain. The cost of metal is the weight of the metal multiplied by the cost per ounce for that type of metal. Replicate this formula for all other chain styles and sizes. So this is required in E31. So I'm going to E31. E31 is this cell. So in this cell, what they want us to do is to multiply the value in ounces multiplied by the cost per ounce. So, but if you look, we've got three types of chains. We've got the silver, the gold, and the platinum. So, since we've got three types, we need to differentiate when to use the silver, the gold, and the platinum. So, as you can check, all these are silver, followed by gold, then platinum. So, we have to use the if statement here. So, using my if statement, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to target this cell. So, if this cell, which is E2, if it's equivalent to this cell, which is having silver, it means I'm going to multiply by this. But that cell, if it's equivalent to gold, then we have to use the gold price. If it's platinum, then we have to use the platinum price. So the formula is like equals to if, so if this value, so what I need for this one is to move across. I don't want these values to go down as I replicate. So this value should stay within the what? This row number 2. So to make that change, I'm going to put a $ here. So I'm making the row absolute, but the column will be changing. So I'm saying if this value that is there is equal to this, so what is in this row, if it's equal to this value, then it means but before I put the value, so I'm going to make this absolute again. So this one is to be constant, so I'm making that constant. So if it's equal to silver, what am I going to do? So the requirement is to take this value, the value that is in this particular cell, then multiply it by the silver value. Then the silver value also has to be made absolute. So that's for silver, comma. Now I also need to test for gold. So I'm using an if again, nested if. So if this same value, and remember we are locking the row. So if this value is equal to the gold now. If it's equal to gold, I hope you are getting the idea now. So if this is equal to gold, what are we going to do? We are going to multiply this cell multiplied by the gold price, and make this absolute as well. Then comma. So if it's not a gold, if it's not a silver, if it's not a gold, then obviously it's a platinum. So finally we are simply going to take this value multiplied by the platinum price. So our formula is completed. I've opened 2 brackets, so I'm going to close the 2 brackets, then press enter. So this is the calculation for the first cell, and we need to copy that across, and we also need to copy that down as well. So that's the costs. So according to our question, anything that has got weight in it, it has to be converted to what? To 3 decimal places. So format this as number 3 decimal places. Anything that has got a cost in it, so these are cost values, I'm going to format that currency. So I'll just put $1, then 2 decimal places. So that will be it. So having done this, we are going on to the next calculation. So place formulas in appropriate cells in column B to calculate the length of each chain, rounded down to the nearest centimeter. So we have got the centimeters here, the inches there, and we are told the 1 inch is equals to 2.54. So we are going to say equals to this value in inches multiplied by 2.54. So that will be our value in centimeters. But our question, sorry, it's not 5 point, it's 2.54. That's it. So our question requires us to round the value. So we are asked to round down the value to the nearest centimeter. So we are rounding it to a whole number. So that will be equivalent, 14 inches will be equivalent to 35 centimeters. So here it will be just a matter of copying. So I'm copying this value and pasting it there. Then I copy down again. So do the same here. Copy this value, paste it here, then copy down the formula to the remaining. So having done our tasks from question number 1 to 4, I hope you are getting the hang of it. For now, I'm stopping this video, and we'll proceed from question 5